Today we're going to be starting on page 37. We're going to be looking at multiplying integers using a number line. You can use a number line to see what happens when you multiply a positive number by a negative number. Henry made 3 withdrawals of $2 each from his savings account. What was the change in his balance? So you're going to find 3 times negative 2. To graph negative 2, you would start at the 0 and move 2 units to the left. 3 times negative 2 means negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2. To graph 3 times negative 2, start at the 0 and move 2 units to the left 3 times. So as you can see over here to the side, they have it shown for you on the number line. The result you end up getting is negative 6. The change in Henry's balance was negative $6. B. Lisa plays a video game in which she loses points. She loses 3 points 2 times. What is her score? So you want to find 2 times negative 3. 2 times negative 3 means negative 3 plus negative 3. Show this on the number line. So over to the side you have your number line, so you want to show it on the number line. Lisa has a score of negative 6. Now it's time to reflect. Number 1, what do you notice about the product of 2 integers with different signs? If you can, pause the video and try to answer that on your own, and then compare your answer with the answer I have. It is the opposite of what the product would be if the same integers had positive signs. Now we're looking at page 38. Modeling integer multiplication. Counters representing positive and negative numbers can help you understand how to find the product of 2 negative integers. So up here we have the yellow counters represent positive numbers and the red counters represent negative numbers. Find the product of negative 3 and negative 4. Write negative 3 times negative 4 as negative 3 times negative 4, which means the opposite of 3 times negative 4. Step 1. Use negative counters to model 3 times negative 4. So we have 3 groups here, 3 groups with 4 counters that are negative. Step 2. Make the same model using positive counters to find the opposite of 3 times negative 4. So down here we have groups of 4 positive counters. We have 3 groups. Translate the model into a mathematical expression. So we're going to take that and make it into a mathematical expression. So we have 3 times negative 4, which equals 12. So if you multiply 2 negative numbers together, you end up with a positive number. The product of negative 3 and negative 4 is 12. Now it's time to reflect. What do you notice about the sign of the product of 2 negative integers? So if you can, pause this video for a minute and try to reflect on your own, and then compare what I wrote to what you wrote. It is positive. Number 3. What can you conclude about the sign of the product of 2 integers with the same sign? If the original integers are positive, the product is going to be positive. If they are negative, the product is going to be positive. So, if the original integers are positive, then you know the answer or the product is going to be positive. If they are negative, then the product or the answer is going to be positive also. So multiplying two positive numbers, you get a positive answer. If you multiply two negative numbers, then you get also a positive answer. All right, page 39. Multiplying 13 times negative 3. Step number one, determine the sign of the product. 13 is a positive and negative 3 is a negative. Since the numbers have opposite signs, the product will be negative. Product meaning the answer. Step 2, find the absolute values of the number and multiply them. So, 13 equals 13, negative 3 equals 3. So, you're basically multiplying 13 times 3. 13 times 3 equals 39. Step 3, assign the correct sign to the product. So, we have 13 times negative 3 equals negative 39. So you multiply the two numbers together and you have to make sure that you put a negative sign in front of your answer or your product. B, multiplying. Step 1, determine the sign of the product. So negative 5 is negative and a negative 8 is negative. Since the numbers have the same sign, the product will be positive. So you're multiplying two negative numbers together, so your answer is going to be positive. Step 2, find the absolute values of the numbers and multiply them. So we have negative 5, which equals 5, negative 8, which equals 8. So we basically just take the numbers as 5 times 8. 5 times 8 equals 40. Assign the correct sign to the product. So we know we're multiplying two negative numbers together, so we're going to equal a positive answer. So our answer ends up being 40. All right, C, multiplying negative 10 and 0. Negative 10 times 0 equals 0. One of the factors of 0, so the product is 0. So anything times 0, you know you're going to end up getting 0. That rule still applies. This next section says your turn. Find each product. So pause the video, try on your own to figure out the product or the answer to each one of the following problems. When you're done, push play on the video and check your answers. For number 4, 3 times 5 equals negative 15. So you have a negative number and a positive number. Multiply them together and you should end up with a negative number. Negative 10 times negative 2. So 10 times 2 equals 20. They're two negative numbers, so you know your answer is going to be positive. Number 6, we have 7 times negative 6. 7 times 6 equals 42. If one of the numbers are negative, your answer is going to be negative. So we have negative 42. Number 7, we have 0 times negative 22. Anything times 0 is going to be 0. Number 8, negative 15 times negative 3. So you do 15 times 3, which equals 45. They're two negative numbers, so you know your answer is going to end up being positive. Number 9, we're multiplying two positive numbers together. So 8 times 4. 8 times 4 equals 32. This next section is your guided practice. Please go through each section of it and try on your own. After you've tried each problem on your own, you can come back to the video and check your answers. Number 1, we have negative 1 times 9. Negative 1 times 9 equals negative 9. Number 2, 14 times negative 2 equals 28. Number 3, negative 9 times negative 6 equals 54. The first two problems had negative numbers in it, so we know your answer is going to be negative. Number 3, you had two negative numbers that you're multiplying together, so your answer is always going to be positive. Number 4, negative 2 times 50 equals negative 100. Number 5, negative 4 times 15 equals negative 60. Number 6, negative 18 times 0 equals 0. Anything times 0 is going to equal 0. Number 7, negative 7 times negative 7 equals 49. You got two negative numbers, you get your positive answer. Negative 15 times 9 equals negative 135. Number 9, 8 times negative 12 equals negative 96. Number 10, negative 3 times negative 100 equals 300. 0 times negative 153, you end up getting 0. Number 12, negative 6 times 32 equals negative 192. Number 13, Flora made 7 withdrawals of $75 each from her bank account. What was the overall change in her account? So we have our problem here. You have to set it up. 7 times negative 75 equals negative 525. So she had withdrawn negative $525 from her account that she didn't have in there. Number 14, a football team lost 5 yards on each of 3 plays. Explain how you could use a number line to find the team's change in field position after 3 plays. Start at 0 and move 5 units to the left 3 times. So 3 times negative 5 equals negative 15. So negative 15 yards, so the team lost 15 yards. Number 15, the temperature dropped 2 degrees Fahrenheit every hour for 6 hours. What was the total number of degrees the temperature changed in 6 hours? So you need to set up 6 times negative 2 equals negative 12. So it dropped negative 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 16, the price of one share of the Amici company declined $5 per day for 4 days in a row. How much did the price of the share change in total after the 4 days? 4 times negative 5. So 4 times 5 equals 20, and you have to add that negative sign. So negative $20. 17. A mountain climber climbed down a cliff 50 feet at a time. He did this 5 times in one day. What was the overall change in his elevation? 5 times negative 50. 5 times negative 50 equals negative 250. So negative 250 feet. All right, we have our essential question. Check in, explain the process for finding the product of 2 integers. So you're just explaining how you do that. Multiply the absolute values of the integers. If both integers have the same sign, the product is positive. If they have different signs, the product is negative.